Remember, people that don't know how to rest are going to suggest that you should work harder. And people that don't feel good enough are going to expect you and tell you to do more. Be careful where you're getting your advice from and if they're actually living it in order to know what they're talking about. Because a lot of people, while they do make money, they're doing it through a means that is not fulfilling for them. But there are also a lot of people, you'd be surprised at how many people are in a position and they're not fulfilling it. They're not doing their job. And if you know, you know. There's so many people I've recognized in the last couple of years that I am surprised that these people are in the positions that they are. I'm surprised that they make the money that they do. And it's not through quality. It's through quantity. So what it is it's politician energy. And so what they do is they tend to schmooze people. They're charming, they're friendly. They really spread their energy thin, but that means their quality is low. And so they can get by like that because they rely on everybody else. But you are trying to become independent and away from codependent. So you're gonna be doing things a little bit differently and it's gonna look different. And there's gonna be some challenging times where it feels like because you're building slower and you're building by yourself, and when you put yourself out there, you're now a target for other people who don't like what you're doing because they don't feel confident in themselves to do it. And so now they're going to try to come into your lane, take you down, get you in your head, out of your body, and they're going to be doing that by trying to get you to feel fear, because that's what's keeping them stuck. And I think there might be a touch of that from your childhood. So it's important to be aware of where these people are coming in, what their intentions are, and what their experience really is. And so when you learn to recognize this and you learn to regulate your emotions around this and allow yourself to say, yes, I may have experienced this in the past, but I'm doing this right now. I have more experience, I've gained more wisdom, and I can become successful. And so when you recognize you can do that, you recognize who can't do that. And so you no longer take advice from them. They're tied into a system that is overworking and overwhelming. It's society and not rewarding the people who work hardest. Well, they reward you, but with more work. And that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a work-life balance. You're looking to get what you give. And so you're on a different path aside from these people. So like I said, it's going to look different. You're going to be seeing people who are partnered up with other people, and they seem to be winning financially right now, but it's not a long term. And even though they've been doing it for a long time, things are shifting and changing so fast now, they're not going to be able to maintain that moving forward. Their health is suffering because they don't invest in themselves. They invest in other people. They invest in things outside of themselves. And you are going inside. It's an inside job. You're working on your belief systems. You're working on your emotional and where they're coming from and what's causing them. You're getting inside information that's coming from the inside source, which is you, okay? And you're not looking for anyone else's opinions. I don't care how long ago they come from. I don't care what book they are printed in. You are looking for inside information and how it affects you and how it's gonna benefit you. And so remember, part of this process is gonna be challenging because you're not gonna see what you're building as you build it. It's not Amazon energy. It doesn't show up at your door the next day. That's not how this works. It's not supposed to work like that because you're relearning and you're unlearning. So when you unlearn something else, it takes time to fill that knowledge back up because you have to practice that. You have to get good at it. And it's easy because you kind of go back and forth, because you don't know what this looks like. You're trial and erroring it. And so that means you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make a mess. You weren't allowed to do that in childhood. And so you have to give yourself permission now. And that means time, rest, and investing in yourself. And a lot of people are investing in things outside of themselves, counting on other people who are not accountable, and they're looking for other people to make them feel happy. You're listening to your heart, and that is a hard thing to do when you've been going by everyone else's inside compass, which is, yes, pain, but fear. There's pain with fear. You are listening to your pain. You're looking at it like, that was a painful experience. I don't want to do that again. Why did I do that? What made me feel that way? And why would I go there again? You're looking at things. You're paying attention to patterns. You're doing things different. But like I said, give yourself patience. Nobody gave that to you. You have to give these gifts to yourself. You have to invest in yourself. While other people are buying boats and houses and things, you're living your life, not showing up at the 9 to 5, and you may be downsizing. That's part of this process, because that's part of getting the information that no one's actually gone after. It's like a gold mine. Once you go there, you're going to find all these bits of information, and it's going to help you not just to how to find your path, but to know who you can trust and who you can't. And it also, you're building strength in this process. And think about a baby when they learn how to walk. They don't just, most of them don't just jump out and start running. You know, that's not natural. That's not normal. So be aware, you do have these gifts that nobody else has, and there's something of discernment. You smell something off is in the room, and when you smell that, you are not one to stick around. You're leaving, and these people want you to stay. That's not your crew. That's not for you. Stay true to yourself.